Hitters do make contact. It's going to be a ground ball to her stellar defense.
A real fan favorite, both of them were. Ready to go, Basinger deals to Thomas. And the first pitch is grounded to third. Alex Brown scoops and collects, throws over to first in time. Just excellent, a really dynamic duo, and then you throw in. Pitch is grounded to third. Alex Brown scoops and collects, throws over to first in time. One pitch, one out. Here for Reese Basinger. This is the reason she made the decision to transfer from Winthrop, to start these kinds of games. Her and Brooke McCubbin in the circle have been just excellent. A really dynamic duo, and then you throw in Macy Citron, who has really been excellent in her own right in the circle, though she's kind of been that third option. But, I mean, Citron, the ACC Freshman of the Year, coveted for everything she can do also at the plate.
And for a year that graduated so much from last season, you'd think options for John Rittman may be a little thin, but he's got a deep bench. Even with the freshmen, they have had big time, big game experiences, stepping up in big moments, and it's been somebody different each time. There's not just one superstar on this team. It is a complete team that Coach Rittman has put together this year.
Alana Deal cuts and misses, 2-2. The three-year starter began the year at shortstop, but transitioned over to third base in the middle of the season. She's got 15 doubles on the year. That's the most in the Big South. You look up and down this roster, it's got Big South leaders on it. Jammed to third, and Brown collects on the run. Responsible for both outs so far here for Reese Basinger. This year, Moore, Noller, Citron, and Vieira starting off this lineup for head coach John Rittman, and Sierra Manis, one of the best pitchers in the Big South, is in the circle.
Yeah, just a sophomore, but eating up a majority of the innings. 160 innings pitched this season. It has been really the workhorse for them between her and Maddie in the circle, but she's going to do a good job of keeping the ball down, which you're going to have to do against these Clemson hitters.
Brown steps in, and Manis delivers. Takes back for ball one. Alex Brown, second season at Clemson after transferring from your alma mater, UNC, before last year when Donna Papa retired, the legendary head coach there. One of the top offensive third basemen in the country, and is coming in hot, hitting 4 of her last 5 games.
You know, it took her a little while to get started when she transferred in and finding her place on this team, and she has found it this year, playing with a lot of confidence in that leadoff spot. Really sets the tone for the rest of the team, does Alex Brown.
These two teams also pretty familiar with each other in the postseason last year. Clemson took down USC Upstate 8-0 in an elimination game in Tuscaloosa. First time that they have played against each other here in Clemson. This is not a long trip for the Spartans. Spartanburg, where they hail from, just a little over an hour from Clemson. You know, it is great as Brown walks to lead off this first inning. When you get to the regionals and you also get to, you know, throw some regional rivalries in there, along with potentially it being the end of these team seasons, just spices it up a little bit more.
Clemson ended Upstate's season last year, and
right.
Coach Hawkins from Upstate said his team was upset. They left there with a bitter taste in their mouth, and he really liked that. They weren't just happy to make postseason, so getting an opportunity to come back, maybe get a little revenge. If you're Upstate, that's exactly what you want.
Aggression, one of their mottos, not come out and be timid in any way. Way outside to Maddie Moore.
I think that might have been a pitch out. The speed of Brown at first base, anticipating her going on the pitch. See where Pippin steps out. Definitely supposed to be a pitch out. Brown not moving on the pitch.
Ball and a strike on Maddie Moore, along with Alex Brown on first base. She is hitting .420 on the season. This time the runner's on the move to second, one and first, double play. Even with Brown going, it was hit so hard by Moore. Polk, Simerson to Shaw. 2 outs here in the first.
That exchange by Polk at shortstop cannot get any cleaner. Brown, so much speed off on the pitch. The exchange at second base, I mean, everything to perfection. That's how you turn a 6-4-3 double play.
Rally killer here for the Tigers, and Julia Noller bats with the bases empty. It's a good fielding team in USC Upstate. 970 on the season, pretty good mark. Polk and Simerson, an excellent double play combination as we just witnessed. And there's a backhand stab by Shaw to touch up and get Noller. So because of the double play, both pitchers work 1, 2, 3 innings. And through one, still look. Nothing so crazy yet here in this regional, but that means that probably we have a lot in store for us either the rest of today or tomorrow. Carson Shaw, the cleanup hitter, sawed off, and there is Basinger fielding her position for out number 1. She only had to throw 8 pitches to retire the Spartans in order in the first.
Again, in on the hands of these hitters that use SC Upstate, not able to get their barrel out and get on time. But Denver Lauer right here, she's a competitor.
Abby Polk, the slick fielding shortstop, takes strike 1. Opened the year at second base, but then moved to short. Hitting about 80 points higher this year, went from 254 to 333. Oh, check that Denver Lauer. I jumped the gun. Denver Lauer before.
This first inning went by
Polk.
so fast.
It really did.
Trying to keep up with the game.
Well, she leads the Big South with 58 RBIs and steps up down the third baseline. Collins, fantastic freshman, takes it in. Chris Hawkins now in his 31st year. He has 1,136 wins. The architect of this program, taking them from Division II to their first Division I conference in the A-Sun, and now in the Big South. He's the conference coach of the year the last 2 of the 4 seasons. At his alma mater, Hawkins has just done such an incredible job. Now in the second straight NCAA regional for the program. That's mashed out to center field, drops in. Abby Polk has a 2-out base hit. First one of the game against Basinger, and first for either team.
And this is a much improved Upstate offense, increasing in just about every offensive category. And you're talking about Coach Hawkins, and we asked him what has it been about this offense that's aided into their production, and he said he left the old school mindset of hitting gap to gap and just swinging with power, swinging with attention.
That is exactly what Abigail Pippin does on the first pitch. Back-to-back hits now off of Basinger.
Upstate so aggressive early in this game, swing first, second pitch they see. If you're Basinger, you might want to start trying to change speeds early in the count. Give them a little something different. They are looking to swing early and often.
Here comes Kyle Jamison. Pitching coach has been with head coach John Rittman all 6 seasons now, formerly the head coach at Furman. He was the 2017 SoCon Coach of the Year. He's a real X factor for this program. I mean, we talked to John yesterday, and I can't even remember how many times he brought up KJ's name.
He did very complimentary of what he's been able to do, especially bringing in Reese Basinger and just having the fall with her before getting started this season. And the job he's done with 4 years with Brooke McCubbin.
And what about before that? I mean, Millie Thompson,
Right.
Valerie Cagle.
I mean, he's had an arsenal of great pitchers.
Of course, Reagan Spencer in there as well. but it's the Spartans that are threatening here with 2 outs in the second. Off the end of the bat, there is Collins on the run. Can't make the play in time. Not an easy one because Abby Polk was definitely in the way, though not enough to cause any sort of issues there and any sort of interference.
And if you're Collins at shortstop, she looked like she hesitated to avoid contact. In that situation, you don't hesitate. Any contact made there would be interference on the base runner. And just because of that slight hesitation and the speed of Johnson down the line, Upstate's got bases loaded.
Now you could run into her right there,
Right.
And that's pretty obvious that it's going to be interference, and it would be the end of the inning. Now it's 0-2, though, on Liza Simerson.
Upstate told us they wanted to play with aggression, and that's what they're doing. Aggressive at bats, not leaving anything for chance, anything close, they're attacking.
And now 1-2. Liza getting her first consistent playing time. The senior stepped into the second base spot, replacing Georgia Preddy on April 11th. Went 2 for 4 with a double the game after that. 2-2. 4-game hit streak for Simerson. This is exactly who you want up. 5 for 11 in that stretch with a couple of RBIs and a couple of doubles. The bases full of Spartans. Got her on 2-2. Basinger's first K of the game comes at a pretty good time.
Immediate success that he was able to have here is something that if program starts a new softball team somewhere, they need to be picking John Rittman's brain, because he sold a vision and recruited some of the best players in the nation on that vision. This is the 3rd time they've hosted regionals in just 6 years as a program, and one of those years didn't even have a postseason, the 2020 season.
So they've made it all 5 years that there has been an NCAA tournament, and they've been a program. 2 super regional appearances back in 2022 and 23. High chopper, picked up. Should be foul ball, though. It is. Previous 2 times the Clemson has hosted a regional, they have advanced, and this would bode well if they are able to get the win here today. 96% of host teams winning the first game advance.
There's definitely advantage of playing at home, and especially here at McWhorter. You see the stands, the crowd, there's a buzz. I mean, these fans are ready for Clemson softball. They live for this postseason, and why not? They have a great product on the field to watch and support.
2 balls and 2 strikes on Macy Cintron, the ACC Freshman of the Year. And it will run full. Ranked the #1 player in the country coming out of high school into college, was originally committed to Duke. She wanted to study law there, but decided instead that it would be a little bit better for her coming in and playing at Clemson, as she rips it off of the glove of Polk and into left field. Showing off why. Loves the family attitude. Only a little over 2 hours from her hometown in Cumming, Georgia, so her family don't have to miss a game.
Look at that excitement on first base. But Cintron, her freshman year, does not play like a freshman. Step onto the field this year with maturity, confidence, and excitement. Look at her firing her team up. Think she's ready for her first postseason? I'd say so.
And I would say the magnitude of the moment hasn't gotten to her yet. Upstairs to Abby Vieira, 4-year starter behind the plate, but this is really her first year healthy for an entire season. Freshman year was doing really well, hurt her knee, had an arm injury after that. It's just been little things throughout her career. Gets the bunt down, Manis to first, just got her. Good stretch there by Shaw as well.
Incredible play all around. I mean, incredible bunt by Abby Vieira. Saw the first baseman, Shaw pulled back, put it down the first base line, but Manis coming out of the circle quickly, no hesitation. This ball's got a ton of spin on it, bare hands it, throws a strike to first base, and then picked by Carson Shaw at first. Great play defensively, but good execution by Abby Vieira.
This starts a stretch of 3 straight freshmen in the lineup that have all had incredible seasons. Marion Collins, followed by Taylor Pipkins, and then Kylie Johnson. The latter two, the postseason heroes in the ACC tournament. Marion inside outs it to left. Cintron getting the go-ahead, and she will score without a throw. Couple of freshmen producing the first run of the postseason for Clemson.
It's just poetic, right? The story of this team has been the freshmen stepping up, and then in their first postseason regional at bats, Macy Cintron gets on, then it's another freshman, Marion Collins, hitting a gap to score the first run for Clemson in the NCAA postseason.
Bouncer to third, they're gonna go to second. Deal gets one, Simerson on to first in time. South Carolina Upstate has turned the lineup over in the first 2 innings against Reese Basinger, so it's the top of the order, Thomas, Deal, and Kardatsky to start off this 3rd inning. Spartans loaded the bases in the second with 2 outs, back-to-back-to-back hits by Polk, Pippin, and Johnson, but then got Liza Simerson swinging to end the threat.
And as aggressive as Upstate is, one of the aggressive hitters in their lineup, Talia Thomas, who only has 2 strikeouts on the season, hasn't moved the bat off her shoulder and works a 3-0 count.
And that finds the zone. Incredible for Thomas. It averages out to once every 85 at-bats she's been struck out. And not here either as she floats it. No play for Collins. And for the first time, the Spartans have the leadoff on.
They're just showing us how scrappy of a team and talented of a team they are. Thomas works a 3-1 count and gets just enough of this. Surprising Collins is even able to get to the ball, but so much speed by Thomas down the line and now at first base.
Alana Deal steps up, takes in. You know, as 4 seeds go, South Carolina Upstate is not an easy draw.
No, no, and Coach Rittman talked about it yesterday with us that, you know, this 1-4 matchup, especially against this team, is not going to be an easy feat. He didn't care what number was beside their name, but you've got to come out to play when you're facing Upstate because there's no fear in their eyes. They caught fire at their Big South tournament, coming in with a lot of confidence.
1-1, tried the bunt, couldn't get it down. Maybe trying to catch Clemson a little bit off guard there. Popped on top of the roof. Brittany was getting all excited like that one might come back. I don't even know if there's a trajectory that could get us a foul ball this weekend.
I'm sure it's possible. It's gotta be.
I don't know. Trying to put my math brain on there.
We've got a couple more games to find out.
1-2 is ripped into the gap in right center field. Thomas around second. She'll get the go-ahead from third and scores in front of Addie Moore's throw. Tied up on the RBI double off the bat of Deal.
Upstate is wasting no time. Remind you, Basinger is the ACC pitcher of the year. Deal finds a gap into right center, and so much speed from Thomas going from first to score easily. Upstate ties it up.
Sophia Kardatsky now. She hit it well, but lined it right at the left fielder Johnson her first time up. What an asset speed is. for this Spartans team.
Speed doesn't slump, and they're so good at small ball and getting runners on.
Nubbed off of the end of the bat. No one's covering first. And Kardatsky is safe.
That is just a mental mistake by Noller at first base. No chance she gets to that ball. She's got to be retreating to first base. Moore's pulled up the middle, doesn't have the time to get there. Upstate putting pressure on this Clemson defense by putting the ball in play and being aggressive. That's what they said they wanted to do, and that is exactly what they're doing.
To the cleanup hitter, Carson Shaw shows bunt, pulls back, and takes strike one. Upstate can swing it. They hit .344 as a team. That's not only the best average in the Big South. Chris Hawkins told us it's the best under him in 31 years. And what a difference, you know, a season makes. Didn't even hit 300 as a club last year. And now it's a team that's averaging over 7 runs a game.
Yeah, and he's given them the permission to swing freely. Go up there, not trying to hit a spot on the field, but go up there and swing freely. Give a powerful swing, and it looks like we have a action clock violation by the hitter, so that'll be a strike on the hitter, Shaw.
And that is really helpful for Clemson and Basinger. Especially when, you know, you've got her reeling just a little bit. 6 of the last 7 batters have hits here against the right-hander for Clemson. And 3 straight to start off this 3rd inning. 1-2, didn't go, held up, count even.
That's a tough ball to hold on, especially 1-2 count. Good job by Shaw showing discipline at the plate.
Stays alive on 2-2. Probably would have been ball 3, but didn't want to risk it there. Runners on the corners against Basinger. Deal after that RBI double on 3rd, and there's Kardatsky on first base with the infield single. And the 2-2 is sky high. Left field, does the park hold it? It does. Johnson makes the catch in front of the track, but it's a sac fly off the bat of Shaw, and USC Upstate takes the lead.
Upstate is executing in every way right now. Good quality at bats, getting runners on, and then the situational hitting with Carson Shaw with a sacrifice fly to left field. I mean, she just missed this pitch, just under it.
Cut and a miss, runner on the move, throw to second is offline. It was on the 3rd base side of the bag, and nothing Collins could do as Kardatsky swipes second base. Sophia Kardatsky now with 22 stolen bases in 24 attempts. She's 6'1".
She is 6'1".
And she has all the power you could ask for.
Full of power and speed. I mean, you don't find a player like Kardatsky very often that can really do it all.
She's it.
Oh, and she can pitch too.
That's exactly right. She's got a 3 ERA in 58 innings this year.
Just missed.
Lauer showing off the good eye. A career .337 hitter. All Big South first team for the 3rd straight season this year. That's bounced in front of the plate. They've got Kardatsky in no man's land, but no throw from Vieira.
And Kardatsky was leaning towards 3rd base. If Vieira did release that ball, she was going to take the next 60 feet. Good job by Vieira to make her commit back to second base.
To another 2-2. Clemson being challenged immediately by the Spartans just about an hour up the road. down 2-1 here in the third. Hasn't changed the noise level of this crowd, though. They are still locked in.
That one doesn't feel good. Right off the ankle, Denver Lauer. But she's not even gonna step out of the box. She's ready to hit, tough. Working a really good at bat. 8 pitches she's seen so far.
And earns the walk. You cannot say enough about Upstate's approach in this game.
I mean, the aggression they're showing has been phenomenal, but to pitches in the zone, right? They are not chasing. When you want to have an aggressive mindset, it's very easy just to go after anything close, but we're seeing them having the discipline, the plate awareness, picking pitches up early and not getting fooled. It's just a really impressive, disciplined approach by Upstate that's paying off. 6 hits already in the ballgame.
And that is going to be enough for John Rittman as the ACC Pitcher of the Year is taken out. And they are going to rely on the veteran, Brooke McCubbin, here with first and second, 1 out already, 2 runs in. Starting tonight, continuing Saturday and Sunday night, the All-ACC team's going to have highlights and breakdowns of the softball regionals, all the ACC teams in it. The men's and women's lacrosse championships, the final weekend of the ACC baseball regular season on tap as well. Coverage begins after the final game of the night right here on ACC Network and the ESPN app. A record 9 teams from the Atlantic Coast Conference making it into this year's regionals. And now it is going to be up to Brooke McCubbin to shut down this USC Spartans offense.
These are the moments she says she lives for. She loves being a reliever, coming into the pressure situations. She has been a stabilizer for Clemson all 4 years and none more than this year. So coming in with runners on, down in the game, probably a little bit earlier than she expected to enter this game, but this is the moment that she is made for, the moment she works for all season long.
Brooke McCubbin this season more than doubling her workload with Cagle Thompson and Spencer all graduating. First pitch on the bunt attempt outside the zone. Didn't go around either, and Abby Polk, who singled to start off the rally in the second, though nobody scored for the Spartans until this third inning.
You see the percentage of pitches she throws. She's going to go in the upper 60s, but she's going to locate.
Moore hesitated, no play. Kardatsky dives into third, everyone's safe. Mental mistakes galore for the Tigers here in the third inning.
Yeah, these are errors that are not going down in the scorebook, but mental errors coming from the defense, first from Julia Noller, and then now Marion Collins at shortstop, not getting to the back. She was pulled over in that 5-6 hole. That's something Maddie Moore's got to realize pre-pitch. See where your defense is with the speed. No chance for Collins to get there in time. Never should have looked at second, gone straight to first. But Brooke McCubbin called time herself, brought her infield in, trying to settle everything down.
Fielder's choice for Polk. Now Abigail Pippin takes upstairs, and the infield drawn in for the Clemson Tigers here in the third. John Rittman can sense a potential turning point if the Spartans can get a big hit here.
Yeah, you can see the infield, the middle's pulled in front of the baseline. It'll really decrease their range.
And now 2 balls and no strikes. Giving Vieira behind the plate a little bit of time to collect herself. A real potential turning point already.
saw Upstate get out of a couple jams in the past 2 innings with some double plays. Clemson would love to get one of those in this situation and keep this to just a 2-run inning.
This is to third. Brown comes home for 1, the only play she had. So they get the lead runner, but now 2 away and still a chance for the Spartans.
You know, I know they get the lead runner on this play, but I think
step on third, right?
Brown has the opportunity to just take a step back, touch third base, and plenty of time to get the runner at first.
Mark, thank you, and welcome to Clemson, South Carolina. Here at McWhorter Stadium, Alex Perlman, former All-ACC catcher, Brittany McKinney along with you. So far, South Carolina Upstate has taken it to the number 11 national seed here on their home field. 2-1, leading with 2 runs here in the 3rd inning. Base hit by Alana Deal, as well as a sac fly off the bat of Carson Shaw so far. They have the bases loaded, 2 outs. The ACC Pitcher of the Year, Reese Basinger, started this game for Clemson. She was taken out, though, with Brooke McCubbin coming in a couple of batters later, or ago, to try to get out of this jam.
And it's been the aggressive at-bats by Upstate. Anything crossing the plate, they are putting a good swing on it, but also discipline. Not chasing, but McCubbin here, 0-2 pitch.
Amy Johnson holds up, and McCubbin does not get the call. One-two to Collins. Clemson's out of it. 2-1. USC Upstate leading. We'll talk to their head coach, Chris Hawkins.
That's all we're doing.
Coach, your defense has come up with some big double plays past couple innings. What do you like from Manis and your defense so far?
Well, if she's on, she's going to get us a lot of those ground balls, and we have to make those plays. And fortunately, they're hitting it right to us and giving us a good kick start to turn some double plays.
Chris, thank you so much for the time.
Thank you, guys.
Has won the Big South Coach of the Year honors 2 of the last 4 years. 1,136 wins now in year number 31 for Chris Hawkins. Brought the team from Division II to Division I years ago. Started in the Atlantic Sun, and now they've owned the Big South, the tournament champions over the last 2 years. They played Clemson last year in an elimination game down in Tuscaloosa. They were both in that regional along with Alabama. Kylie Johnson takes low and away. Johnson really is bigger reason as anybody that this team has even gotten to this point where they are hosting, winning their first ever ACC tournament championship. And Johnson was just, I mean, so electric. A 2-run blast in the top of the 7th in the tournament championship game, beating Florida State all on her own. And for it to come off the bat of a freshman with Taylor Pipkins going out and hitting the grand slam that ended up beating Virginia in the quarterfinal, it was really incredible because it's the young nucleus of this team that's been powering them forward.
Manis right there getting the best of Johnson, but the best story coming from Johnson's home run against Florida State. She didn't even play the game before, stay locked in, but Manis here changing up speeds, took about 8 miles per hour off that. Have not seen her change up much in this game so far. Nice break on it, showing it to Johnson there.
And Jamison Brockenbrough steps in and takes a strike. First year at Clemson after spending 2 seasons at Tennessee, the everyday center fielder who came in to replace Mackenzie Clark. He was drafted into the AUSL in January, which 12 soon-to-be former college players will join as well, getting their golden tickets this spring. Though most of them are hoping that they have a long, long run ahead of them all the way to the Women's College World Series in Oklahoma City. Clark's here in the building too, so I mean, it doesn't go away, the support for this program. You can tell every single year. I mean, there's only been 6 seasons now of Clemson softball, but they've built a culture so quickly under John Rittman.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have to build some more seats. I mean, the berm's a great view. It's a great view, but I mean, so quickly they've built this big, beautiful stadium, and I'm not sure if anybody, maybe besides John Rittman, expected this success immediately that they've had and the support from the community. I mean, it's just a perfect recipe.
I mean, this is standing room only. When tickets for the regionals went on sale to the general public, not only was there a site crash, it only took 5 minutes to sell out. 2-2 just off the plate.
Right now, Upstate doesn't care how many people are in the stands wearing orange. They are coming out here aggressive. Manis, full count here, but it's been attacking the zone.
Brockenbrough, the number 9 hitter here in this lineup for the Tigers against Manis. First time through, only 3 have reached so far. Alex Brown led off with a walk and then a couple of hits in the second. One of them an RBI single by Marion Collins, though. Got her on the payoff. Manis is on today.
And she's doing it all sorts of ways. Kylie Johnson went down with the changeup here. Jamison Brockenbrough catches something hard, swings right over it. Manis. She's feeling good in the circle.
Arguably the Big South's best pitcher this year. Conference high 21 wins this season. Leading the staff with 160 innings. Opponents hitting just 228 against her. And her ERA coming into this game sub 2.
Look at that, 69 miles per hour for Manis. But still under control, not overthrowing, hitting her locations.
Two and one now on Alex Brown. Talking to the Clemson head coach, John Rittman, when we come back for the top of the 4th inning, whenever Clemson is finished here in the bottom of the 3rd. The architect in a short time of a potential national power. Three and one with Maddie Moore, the All-American second baseman, the do-everything player, standing in the on-deck circle. And Brown takes ball 4. Second time she's gotten on with a free pass tonight.
And that one did not miss by much. But base runners, that's what Clemson needs right now. All the momentum right now is on the side of Upstate. Clemson needs some base runners, get some momentum back in their dugout, get things going.
Well, pitch out. Alex Brown's not going anywhere.
I think with throwing a pitch out, most likely you're not going to see him back to back. So Alex Brown knows that's not coming.
Not going either as Moore loops it into the gap in left center field. It'll go all the way to the wall. Go ahead, given to Alex Brown. She's in without a throw. We're tied.
And of course it's Maddie Moore. When you need somebody to pick up this team, you're gonna look for Maddie Moore. She gets all of this pitch, stays down and through it, hits the gap in left center field. The speed of Alex Brown scoring from first base, and then the reaction from Maddie Moore at second base, looking to her teammates. Let's go. Oh yeah, she's feeling it, no problems here. Tied ball game.
Julia Noller takes strike one. Moore finishing out her illustrious career. Her 65th run driven in, second most in the ACC behind UNC's Kat Rodriguez. With 83, she leads the country. But it's a new Clemson single-season record. And that's saying something with the type of players they've had. I mean, certainly Valerie Cagle jumps out to mind. And
she's batting in the 2-hole. If she's not batting 3 or 4, and Coach Rittman mentioned, hey, if I moved her down, she'd probably have more RBI opportunities, but having Julia Noller and Macy Cintron batting behind her really protects her in that spot. So if it's working, you can't change it right now. And to get that many RBIs in just the 2-hole, just a testament how great of a ball player Maddie Moore is and how instrumental she is to Clemson's success.
She told us that over this summer, she took a 2-week break out in Lake Tahoe, didn't touch a softball. It was a full body reset for her. 1-2's on the outside corner, and Manis gets out of it. But back and forth we go between a couple of local teams. USC Upstate staying in it, but it's Clemson tying it up at 2 here in the third.
Speed changeup from McCubbin is going to be very important.
So for Clemson, if they do win this game against South Carolina Upstate, it bodes so well for them because only 4% of teams winning that game one hosting have failed to advance.
I'd say the odds are in their favor if they pull this one out.
They would be ever in their favor. 1-2 now.
We still got to play the ball games. There's still a chance, right? I mean, everybody that makes it to this point in the season that gets their name called on Selection Sunday has a chance.
1-2 ripped into right. So Simerson turns the lineup back over. The number 9 hitter is on to start off the fourth.
This team is just fighting every at bat. Simerson found herself 1-2 count. McCubbin leaves a pitch too fat and she takes advantage of it. Another leadoff runner on for Upstate, and they play small ball. They have speed. The doors really open up for what they can do when they have runners on and no outs.
Thomas, the leadoff hitter, takes a strike. A bounce out to third, also reached on an infield single and scored one of the 2 runs back an inning ago. The Spartans just have not looked overmatched at any point in this game.
No, we talked about it earlier that when they lost to Clemson last year in Tuscaloosa to end their season, they weren't happy. They weren't just happy to be in regionals. They were ready for some revenge.
McCubbin to second, on to first in time. 1-6-3, they call her safe at first, though. That is bang, bang, and I do wonder if Clemson wants to take a look at that. John Rittman is asking Julia Noller what she thinks.
Yeah, this was a close play. Good turn. And from live,
McCubbin's not so sure either.
the same reaction of McCubbin. I don't know. It's closer than I thought it was.
We might have our first replay review, or first video review, and we will. So, RBI double her last time up. And South Carolina Upstate in this situation, winning the Big South tournament for the second straight year. They beat number 2 seed Longwood, who they were swept by at home, which left an incredibly bitter taste in their mouths. It was the first time that a conference opponent had swept a Chris Hawkins team at home in his 31 seasons.
That's incredible. That is absolutely incredible.
You don't win in Spartanburg.
No, and they took it personally, too.
2-1 popped up, shallow left field, long run for Johnson. She got it just a little bit tardy on the throw back as Thomas dives into first. Covering a lot of ground out there, the freshman Johnson.
And that ball hung into the air just long enough for Johnson to get under it. I mean, you're right, she covered a tremendous amount of ground. And then look at this play, like a shortstop throw on the run, money. The smart base running heads up by Thomas to get back. Because she was off on the pitch. A hit and run was put on by Coach Hawkins. Good recognition by Thomas to locate the ball and get back to first base.
Don't miss a minute of the action from the NCAA Softball Regionals. So taking you to the best action on the 7 Innings live show on the ESPN app. You can see every game, every big moment on the road to the Women's College World Series only on the ESPN networks. Yeah, 7 Innings live. If you love softball, is the #1 place to go right now on the ESPN app. Bouncing around to all the best moments from all the games here across 16 regional sites. We are just a cog in the larger machine of the NCAA tournament.
It's a beautiful thing. This time of year is amazing. And the energy is just electric.
1-0 to Kardatsky, floated over third into left field. Thomas stays put at second base. Kardatsky now 2 for 3. The Big South Cove freshman of the year.
McCubbin tries to go with the changeup here, drops it down to 53 miles per hour, 54 miles per hour, but Kardatsky just stays balanced long and through it.
I mean, just using that strength at 6'1".
Long, she stayed long through it, that's for sure.
Carson Shaw fouls it off. What a freshman year that she had, and Kardatsky is only going to get better, which is kind of scary for a lot of Big South teams, I think. She had a .393 average this year. 0-1 bouncer to third, and there's Brown to touch up and take us out of the top of the 4th inning as McCubbin holds the Spartans off the board.
The game, it was on my forehead, my chin, my ear, not under my eye anymore.
But you weren't the designated team eye black person.
I did put on a
Wow, that's impressive.
But it was just eye black.
But it's just eye black.
It was
yeah, sure.
Just black.
Not quite as intricate and involved.
Look at that. I don't even know how you do that. We need a...
How does it stay on like that?
Kind of defeats the purpose of eye black with glitter in it, but neither here nor there.
Cintron bounces to third. That's a foul ball. The whole point is to absorb the sunlight.
Not anymore. Not anymore, it's not.
Taking it
looks good.
Leveling up is what they're doing.
That's right. I love it.
Vieira is on deck to follow Cintron, and then Collins in the hole. 4, 5, and 6 here for the Tigers. And Sierra Manis has really kept Clemson at bay. A single allowing Cintron to score in the 2nd, and then an RBI double by Moore tied the game in the 3rd, but that's it. Only 1 runner left on base through those 3 innings.
Yeah, and a couple key defensive plays as well, 2 double plays to get them out of innings. I think Manis and her defense has really risen to the challenge.
Cintron at the plate. not only finishing out this postseason with Clemson, and then she'll suit up for Puerto Rico internationally, representing them this summer at the World Games. And the payoff is floated right field. Thomas under, and there's one away. That's a big first out with Vieira coming up to the dish now. Manis matching that duo of Basinger and McCubbin on the Clemson side, pitch for pitch. And then they have Maddie Drera, who's the Big South Tournament MVP, waiting whenever she runs into any trouble.
And she's dealing right now. Just 3 hits so far allowed by Manis.
And Clemson has given up 8 hits so far to the Spartans through those 3 innings.
You know, we talk about the youth of Clemson, and they had that rough start, went 3-6 at the beginning of the year, and they've been taking this underdog role all season long, and they've really embraced that. But now, this postseason, they have the target on their back for the first time in their minds, coming in as the seeded 11 seed in the country, 1 seed here, whereas Upstate has also prided themselves of being the underdog. So how Clemson embraces this challenge with the target on their back and not having the underdog mentality has been interesting to see unfold.
Tigers started 3-6 after a couple of tournaments in Boca and Clearwater. They finished out the year 41-6, including a run to the ACC championship. So just the second time that Sierra Manis has given up a base on balls, first since the first batter against the Tigers. Last 47 games, they have been electric. Won 7 straight coming into regionals. Haven't lost since Senior Day on April 25th to BC. Expanding that, they've won 15 of their last 16 games, which is a reason why off the top of this game, we said that this very well could be the hottest team in America right now.
Yeah, and they've won some big games too. A revenge game against South Carolina. They went to Tennessee when Tennessee had just been ranked #1. Took that game there, beat Georgia, and
beat Carlin Pickens.
Beat Carlin Pickens. It wasn't
Tennessee.
In a midweek. Took Carlin Pickens, who set the softball velocity record, hit 78 this year. And they said it to us when they were talking to us when we talk about these games, that they went into those games with nothing to lose and they could play free. And they have something to lose here as the #1 seed. And I feel like they are playing a little tight, seeing the mental mistakes on defense. And just the first postseason for a team that's driven heavily by first-year players.
Talk about those. We've got 3 in a row now. It starts with Marion Collins, though shouldn't have any issues in her first at bat with the RBI single. Now up in the count 2-0. This team wouldn't be anywhere without that trio of Collins, Pipkins, and Johnson, especially in the ACC Tournament Championship run. Because you're talking about Kylie Johnson, who hit the 2-run home run in the top of the 7th to beat Florida State. And then Taylor Pipkins, who had the Grand Slam that beat Virginia in the quarterfinal when they were trailing. All trailing, by the way, in the 5th inning or later of those games.
And then Marion Collins, who's up to bat, kind of part of that turning point in the season against South Carolina, had 2 solo shots, including 1 to walk off that game. I mean, between Collins, Pipkin, and Johnson, just been so clutch in big moments in their first year.
Already today we have seen Northwestern blank Kentucky 4-0. So the Kentucky Wildcats into the first elimination game. The winner of this one takes on Northwestern. In the gap on the left side and through. A little bit of a bobble out there by Johnson, though no advance from Vieira. Marion Collins 2 for 2 in her first postseason game.
Yeah, didn't take her any time to settle in, and this was a great at bat. Showed a lot of patience, and then got something with 2 strikes and doesn't try to do too much with it. Inside outs it through the 5-6 hole. You know, that's what Clemson needs. They need to string together some hits, get runners on. But Upstate's done a great job of when they try to, you know, come up with some big defensive plays to just stop them in their tracks.
That's exactly what they did the first time that Pipkins was up in the second inning. Couple runners on base and grounded into a 5-4-3 inning-ending twin killing. And now down to the count, 0-2 to Manis.
Change of speeds there. She's throwing 68, 69 miles per hour, low in the zone, and is being able to throw that changeup in the low 60s for a strike, keeping these hitters honest and off balance.
Gobbled up by Pippen behind the plate. Two balls and 2 strikes here on Pipkins. Right back to Manis. They'll go to third and get the lead runner.
I thought we were going to get another double play there, but Manis throw just a little bit high over to Deal, not giving her an opportunity. Good idea to just keep that one in your pocket.
Those are the type of things you can't do against a team like Clemson. Give them extra outs. You got to take them where you can get them.
You're exactly right.
And so they got it right there. Really smart play. Cut down the lead runner, and it's up to Kylie Johnson, who struck out swinging last time up against Manis. It's a tense crowd here at McWhorter Stadium. You can sense they're just ready to erupt, but they're not feeling so confident right now, I'm not sure. At least at this point. I think they know that Clemson has more than what it takes to make it to the 1-0 game, of course. But until the runs are on the board, you never know.
Yeah, and if you haven't been watching Upstate all season long and know the weapons they have and the offense they have and the defense they have, you know, you may be a little shocked here. But this is a team, Upstate, with plenty of postseason experience. They told us they wanted all gas, no brakes coming into this game. And up to this point, they have absolutely proven that and owned that motto that they wanted to live by coming into this regional.
Manis 1 strike away here in the 4th. High drive to left. This is a light tower shot, and it's out of here. 3-run homer, Kylie Johnson continuing her terrific postseason. 5-2 Tigers.
You said this crowd was waiting for a reason to erupt, and Kylie Johnson doing it again for Clemson when they need her most. This time in the bottom of the 4th, not waiting so long to go yard and put Clemson up by 3. See, Johnson here goes down and in on this pitch. Not an easy pitch to hit, and you said it, it went sky high, but it had the distance. Johnson gave it a look, but that's a 3-run shot for the freshman, Kylie Johnson.
2-0 now on Jamison Brockenbrough. It's Johnson's second game-changing home run in her last 3 at-bats, going back to the end of that ACC Tournament Championship game.
I mean, if you needed to define clutch, I feel like that could be the definition. Who come up with the game-changing hits consistently.
Yeah, her last 3 at-bats, 2 home runs, 5 runs driven in. Not a bad freshman postseason.
I mean, in big moments, too. These aren't just everyday games. And I know you're supposed to treat it like just another game, but her last one was in the championship of the ACCs. This one,
down by 1.
Down by 1 against the #1 team in the conference in Florida State. And now in her first ever regional postseason, the pressure's on, the crowd's here. Find yourself tied with the 4 seed. Maybe Clemson just likes playing from behind.
I guess, you know, it could suit a team.
I'm sure John Rittman would
sure
like to see it a little bit differently.
I would agree, yeah. Slow number. It's going to backspin. Good idea by Pippen there. You know, after Kylie Johnson hit that potential, well, eventually game winning, at the time it was just to take the lead in the top of the 7th against Florida State. And she told the ACC Now crew after, she didn't even know if it was gone off the bat. I wonder if she knew that one.
It was high.
I'm not sure.
High.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Definitely wasn't a no-doubter.
So a 41-degree launch angle on that home run. That's a lot.
Yeah.
That is
I'm
way
trying
up
to picture
there.
it. Yep.
I mean, generally, like somewhere in the 30s is, you know, kind of like a no-doubter if you hit it hard enough exit velo. 3-2 nubbed right back to the mound, and Manis got her just in time to get Brockenbrough. Difference in this game if you're just joining us. 3-run home run off the bat of the freshman Kylie Johnson for Clemson an inning ago. Two-one right back to McCubbin. She's really stabilized Clemson since coming in for Basinger in the 3rd.
Yeah, she's a stabilizer coming out of the bench. She's been that way for her whole career.
See, Manis has pitched a great game, just made that one mistake to Kylie Johnson last inning. For the Tigers, Reese Basinger started the ACC Pitcher of the Year, but gave up 2 runs and 2 1/3 on 6 hits. Though, as John Rittman told us in game, that they just found every hole possible. And there's definitely something to that.
You got to put a bat on a ball if you're going to find a hole in.
That's right.
That's what they're doing. They're aggressive in the box. They're not letting good pitches go by. They're putting aggressive swings on them. They're not hesitant. But Brooke McCubbin coming in the situation she did is where she thrives. Like you mentioned, came in, stabilized the game, got things back on track, and it's almost like Clemson kind of settled in with her in the circle, and they look to her as a leader on this team.
That little liner's over to second and nabbed by Moore off the end of the bat of Polk.
We were talking to the team, and they were mentioning Brooke McCubbin as a leader, and not someone who speaks a lot, but when she does, she listens. And game 3 at Georgia Tech, they were behind. She pulled the team together and said, hey, if you ever want to play at home again, we need to win this game. And right after that, Clemson went out, took the lead, and held on to it. I mean, that's the kind of leadership that you want if you're John Rittman. You need to be player-led.
It's also been fun to watch Brooke McCubbin become a huge part of the staff. I mean, Clemson loses 82% of their innings coming in, and they've relied on Winthrop transfer Reese Basinger, who was the ACC Pitcher of the Year, so she was certainly able to compete at this level. And then McCubbin has doubled her innings as a senior.
Yeah, and last year she was behind the Valerie Cagle, Millie Thompson, and Reagan Spencer, and I talked to Coach Rittman about her last year, and he says from day one, no matter what her role is, she was putting in the work. She was just waiting for her time, for her name to be called, and was the ultimate teammate And boy, has that persistence paid off for Brooke McCubbin. They would not be in the position they're in without Reese Basinger, but also, especially without Brooke McCubbin.
Someone who has just really bided her time and came in, I mean, so heralded. We're talking about the former Georgia Gatorade Player of the Year. She really could have gone anywhere. Decided to go to this relatively new program, only in their 6th season, Clemson Softball. And now she is really making an impact. Riley Vogel is going to come in and pinch run for the catcher, Pippin.
And it's just a testament of hard work, waiting your time, because your time will come if you put in the work, and she has, and has been a great teammate throughout it all.
Amy Johnson swings and misses. Brought that one up to 69 miles an hour. 2 outs, runner on first. And Clemson leading by 3. The one thing that Brooke McCubbin is known for, I mean, she's really not going to overpower you in terms of 70+ mile an hour pitching, but her spin rate is off the charts, and it's tough to find a barrel when that happens.
Yeah, you see that one off the end of the bat. It just makes the ball heavy, too. It's hard to square up a pitch with that kind of spin rate, and then she just hit 69 in the zone, so she is not overthrowing and still spinning it. I mean, those two combinations is rare to find in a pitcher.
0-2 muscled to left and off the glove of Johnson. I thought she would provide some spectacular heroics in the outfield as well, but it will go down as a hit for Johnson.
And we've seen her make some fantastic plays last week at the ACC Championships, but I think right here she just got caught in between staying on her feet or laying out. I think she would have been best to stay on her feet and just get that glove down, but that slight hesitation messed up the timing, ball off the end of her glove. But Upstate putting the ball in play, making things happen.
Simerson stares at it downstairs. A single last time up, first at bat, she struck out. That was against Basinger, though, the only K of the game for the ACC pitcher of the year before she was taken out. 1-0 bounced up the middle. There's Moore, and she'll get it at second. Fielder's choice as Moore shows off the leather on the flip. Well, her Clemson Tigers leading 5-2 over the number 4 seed USC Upstate, the Big South champions. Grace hoping that they can pull it off and set up a date with Northwestern tomorrow in the 1-0 game. Maddie Drerup is going to come in and relieve Sierra Manis. Drerup, the Big South Tournament MVP.
Yeah, and she's going to be a lot different than what we saw with Manis. Manis was upper 60s. Drerup's going to be in the lower 60s, but the key difference is she will throw her changeup early and often. She will throw it as her go-to pitch for a strike. Doesn't matter the count. So later in this game, as Clemson was starting to get their timing, this is a weapon that Coach Hawkins can bring in.
Bunted in front of the circle, no play. Alex Brown using that speed. She reaches for the 3rd time in as many trips to the plate.
And I love this approach by Alex Brown, knowing that you have a change-up pitcher in the circle. See your first baseman, Shaw, pulled back. Just drop a bunt, get it down, and use your speed to get on base. We've seen Upstate use their speed. Clemson and Alex Brown returning the favorites to start off this inning.
It's up to Maddie Moore now with the runner on first and nobody out. And finishing off one of the most memorable careers so far in the 6-year program of Clemson, and there's already been a few of them for sure. I mean, Aaliyah Logaleo, Valerie Cagle, Maddie Clark, sent back to the screen, but Moore has been one of them just because of the improvement that we have seen from her year after year. She was an All-American last season. I don't know how she isn't this year, too.
I mean, there's no question that she will hear her name, see her name listed as an All-American, but you see, she started her career batting 190, battled some injuries, stayed resilient, worked her butt off, Coach Rittman said, every single summer. And when she came back in the fall, she was stronger, she was faster. Work ethic and commitment to her craft has never been a question for Maddie Moore, and it's paying off in the biggest of ways in her senior campaign.
1-2 bouncer right back to Dreher. They'll go to second, just not in time to double up Moore. That would have been her second double play grounded into today, and not very often you would be able to say that.
And when you're in the postseason, clean defense is instrumental, and I tell you what, Upstate has been playing some great defense behind both of their pitchers in the circle, really capping some potential big innings for Clemson as Maddie Moore takes off and swipes second base.
Well, Moore already holds the program record, and she adds to it. How about a clean 50 stolen bases in her career? And if they let her run more, there's no doubt she'd have had more. And now Chris Hawkins is going to talk with home plate umpire Jose Chaparro.
Yeah, I wonder if he's going to challenge.
I think maybe leave early here.
Hey, why not? You're in the bottom of the fifth. He has 2 challenges, and starting the 6th inning, the umpires can.
So Julia Noller now with 1 away, runner in scoring position. Second game of 2. Guaranteed 6 here this weekend in Clemson, South Carolina. Possible 7th if the team that's undefeated loses that first regional final game. Both teams, though, are guaranteed at least 1 more game here tomorrow. We'll have 2 elimination games, 3 total. So buckle in for really the best day, I think, of the season.
Yeah.
There's no day like it.
It's bittersweet.
It is.
It is a very bittersweet day when careers and seasons end, but then heroes step up and advance.
Tomorrow at second-ranked Florida State hosting 4th-ranked North Carolina. Second game of their 3-game series. It's right here on ACC Network. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern. And then all ACC recapping the action here from NCAA Regionals with all 9 a program record teams from the Atlantic Coast Conference making the postseason this year.
Yeah, you'll catch Taylor Tannenbaum and Alex Powers. Give you all the updates from all 9 teams. They'll do a great job back in Bristol in studio, keeping you updated.
There's Kennedy Ariel coming in. And pitch to Macy Cintron, the ACC Freshman of the Year, high and away. It's a danger spot right now for Dreher up in USC Upstate. They had kept it so close. Clemson getting a little bit of a cushion there on the 3-run home run off the bat of Johnson in the 4th. Could really help themselves.
They're just having trouble finding the zone right now and falling behind, and this is not the part of the order and the hitters that you want to put into a hitter's count and allow them to look for one pitch, one spot, and swing freely.
And that finds the inside corner. Two teams that, even though they're separated by just about an hour's drive, have only matched up 1 time, and it was in the NCAA tournament. Last year, Clemson eliminated South Carolina Upstate, 8-0 the final. This is a much tighter game, and we're not surprised with the way that the Spartans have played throughout the whole season, really, but especially at the end.
Yeah, they're returning a lot of players from that team last year. Came out this year with something to prove.
Roofed it on 2-2. The count runs full.
And that's that changeup that Jarrett really relies on. Not being able to find the strike zone with that can really hinder her other pitches. Just not being able to set them up well and keeping hitters honest.
And the payoff has popped up, went outside the zone. Tough play in center, nobody makes it, and everybody's safe. They're gonna go home, try to get the runner, not in time. Maddie Moore scores all the way from second. Clemson adds an insurance run here in the fifth on a bit of a wild one out in shallow center.
Maddie Moore is just electrifying. Simerson going back, losing her footing. Maddie Moore is standing on second base in case they catch the ball, but she never even looks at Coach Rittman, never hesitates rounding third base. That ball wasn't 10 feet into the grass, and she was looking at home the entire time. You can't say enough about the way that Maddie Moore plays the game.
And watch, even if this play was made, I think in right field, if Thomas picks that up, they're going to be able to get the runner at second base and at least get an out of that. They would have gotten a force there. Instead, nothing. Abby Vieira rips it to right. It's down for a base hit. Ariel around third. She'll score. And Clemson coming alive here at home in the fifth.
It just took some time for this young team to really settle in, but here the veteran Abby Vieira goes down and gets this pitch, first pitch of the at-bat, wasting no time. It was a great job by Thomas in right field to cut it off, but again, aggressive base running, no hesitation. I think Clemson has found their footing in this one and is breaking it wide open. And, you know, I think it took some time for them to get comfortable in this environment. A very young team for a lot of these players, their first postseason, but seeing Maddie Moore out there making plays, being aggressive at the plate, being aggressive at the bases. She's always been someone that these young players can look to and give permission to be great, and I think that's what's happening right now.
Clemson 4 for 6 with runners in scoring position today. They are making the most of their opportunities, and there's still only one out. Two more standing right there for Marion Collins, who is yet to be retired. Pinch runner is Wilson at third base. And Vieira, after that RBI double, standing on second. You know, Chris Hawkins has seen a lot of softball, and what he told us today when we got to speak to him on the field, he loved the way that his team started, but he was a little annoyed that they left the bases loaded in 2 straight innings, because he knows he's seen enough ball that if you don't score those runs, it's going to be very difficult to beat a team like Clemson. They gave you your chances, and they got out of jams, and now we're seeing what happens when they woke up.
Yeah, early in the game, just his first 2 innings, 6 runners left on. When we talked to him now, 10 runners left on base up to this point with Upstate. I mean, credit Clemson for shutting down any opportunities with runners on and then responding in a big way.
That is tagged out to right center field off the base of the wall. 1 run easily scores. Vieira's going to cross the plate as well. Tigers have woken up here in the fifth. They plate 4, and the advantage is 7.
When we talked to Reese Basinger yesterday, not a hitter, but she said this offense gets contagious once they start hitting, and that's exactly what's happening now. Up and down the lineup, squaring up balls, hitting grabs, and right here, Collins just missing a home run. This ball lands at the foot of the wall.
Taylor Pipkins to left center field. It's down in front of Johnson, and Clemson walks it off here in the 5th. Ball game. The Tigers stun the Spartans.